Hi, my name is Kristen. I'm a health coach with Orion, and today I will be guiding you through a prenatal yoga practice. We will be using a few props today. We have a chair, 2 yoga blocks, and a blanket. If you don't have yoga blocks at home, you're welcome to use pillows, an additional blanket, or even books. We will begin sitting on our mats, and this is where you'll want to use one of your props, either a yoga block, a stack of books, or even a folded blanket. So just take your prop and place it underneath your hips. Sitting nice and tall, you want your knees to be slightly lower than your hips, just to give you a lot more space through your torso. And you can go ahead and rest your hands on your knees or just let your arms hang down by your sides. You're also welcome to close your eyes, and we're just going to begin by taking some nice deep breaths. As you inhale, feel your spine get nice and tall. And on each exhale, feel your shoulders relax. Continue inhaling and exhaling. Feeling the movement throughout your body and especially throughout your torso. With each inhale, feel your stomach expand just a little bit more. And with each exhale, feel your baby come a little bit closer to your body. Taking your breathing just a little bit deeper, take one more nice deep inhale and exhale. We'll carefully begin to add some movement with the breathing now. We'll start with our neck, just taking your head side to side, stretching through your neck and through your shoulders, and just making it a gentle stretch. We will now take the movement down into our shoulders. For this stretch, just let your arms rest at your sides, and we'll be doing a few shoulder loops. On your inhales, we'll take our shoulders up by our ears, and then on the exhales, we'll bring our shoulders back and down. Moving the movement down into our torso now. Just let your shoulders relax and pull away from your ears, and then take your left fingertips to the left side of your mat. Inhale your right arm up overhead and stretch through those fingertips. You can put more weight into your left hand so you have a little bit more support as you're stretching. Then keep the stretch pretty active so that you feel very open through the right side of your torso. On your next inhale, let your right arm float back down, and then let your right fingertips come to the mat, and we'll inhale our left arm up overhead. Once again, keeping a nice active stretch to keep the left side of the torso open. And exhale, release back down. Now we want to stay down on our mats, but we'll move our prop out from under us. So go ahead and sit down on your mat, and then we'll let our knees come out a little bit further and bring the soles of our feet together, still sitting nice and tall. Remember, let your shoulders stay down and relaxed, and as you hold onto your ankles or your feet, let your knees relax, opening up just a little bit more through the hips. Now throughout pregnancy, you may find that you have a lot more flexibility in your joints. Try not to overstretch. We also want to build strength so you have stability through your hips as well. So first, sitting nice and tall, just begin to feel a little bit of that stretch or opening through your hips. And this obviously will prepare you for labor. From this stretch, we'll just bring our knees up together and swing our legs back behind us, coming to our hands and our knees. Make sure your wrists are underneath your elbows and your shoulders, and your knees should be directly underneath your hips. If you want to create a little more space for your stomach, you can take your knees just a little bit wider apart. We'll do some great stretches for your back called cat and cow. We'll begin with cow on the inhale, letting our bellies drop and our head and our tailbone rise. And then exhaling, pull your belly button up towards your spine and let your head and your tailbone drop. And again, inhaling out to cow pose and exhaling to cat. Working through these poses just a few more times and maybe finding the place that feels best to you. Let's come back to a neutral spine and carefully take your knees just a little bit wider and then bring your big toes back together. We'll shift our weight back towards our heels and sit back into child's pose. Be sure to create lots of space for your stomach between your legs, and then let your arms come down to the mat, and you can even fold your arms in to use as a pillow. If it feels better to you, you can keep your arms stretched out in front of you for a little stretch through the shoulders, and then just let your forehead relax and rest on the mat. We'll just take a few nice deep breaths here, coming back to that nice deep breath we established at the beginning. On your next inhale, shift your weight forward, coming back up to all fours. For these next few exercises, we'll be using our chair. We'll be doing the downward dog stretch, which is a pose you do a lot throughout a normal yoga class. However, it's not recommended to go upside down for long periods of time during pregnancy. So this is a modification we'll do to make it a little bit easier. Just turn to face the back of your chair and rest your hands lightly on the back. And then carefully take a few steps back and begin to fold at your hips, lengthening through your spine. You can bend your knees a little bit to create more of a stretch through your spine and your shoulders. And then carefully step back up into your chair. Now we'll do a few squats to help strengthen through our hips, our legs, and our glutes. For this pose, you're welcome to use the chair just for a little bit of stability. You want to be careful not to put your weight into your hands on the chair so that your legs get the workout, but you can use it to help you balance just a little bit. Stand with your feet about shoulder width apart. Feel your legs or your feet root down into the ground, and then carefully sit back as if you were going to sit into a chair. Let your weight come into your heels, and then carefully straighten. Just a few more. And last one. Standing up nice and tall again, let's come back to our downward dog stretch. Stepping away from your chair again and lengthening through your spine. Bending your knees if you would like. And And inhaling, stepping back up into your chair. Let's do 5 more squats. Remember to keep your weight in your heels as you come down, and tighten your quads and your glutes. We'll step back to downward facing dog one more time. And inhaling, step back up into your chair. You will not need any props for these next exercises. Throughout pregnancy, it is not recommended to do intense strengthening exercises for your rectus abdominis muscles, which are the muscles right on the very front of your stomach. So, this next pose will help us strengthen our core by focusing on the muscles on our sides. You'll start with your feet about hip width apart. If you're not sure what that is for you, take 2 fists and place those fists right between your feet. You want your spine to be nice and tall and your shoulders relaxed. Take a nice deep inhale, stretching your arms up overhead. And then exhale, let your left arm come down, reaching a little bit more through the right arm. And inhale the left arm back up. Exhale the right arm down, this time stretching a little more through the left arm. And inhale the right arm up. Exhale the left arm down. Inhale the left arm up and exhale the right arm down. Let's inhale the right arm up one more time. And if you'd like to add more resistance to these poses, you can interlace your fingers above your head and then even release your index fingers. And then we'll carefully bend towards the left. Listen to your body here, and if it's too much of a stretch or too much of a strain through the right side, you're welcome to bring the left arm back down again and just reach up through the right. Think more about lengthening through your back here rather than bending. And then inhale back up to center, and let's go to the right side. Once again, listening to your body and dropping that right arm down if you need to. And inhaling back up. Let's do one more time each side. And carefully release your arms back down. For this next pose, take your legs just a little bit wider, and you can even turn your toes out to the sides just a little bit. Take your arms up overhead, reach out through your arms, and stay strong through your legs. Take a nice deep inhale, and on the exhale, bend your elbows and your knees, coming down into a nice wide squat. Inhale back out, and exhale down. Keeping your spine nice and tall. And inhaling out one more time. And then exhaling down and holding here. We will be coming back down into that prayer squat again, but this time we'll hold it for a little bit longer. Begin by bringing your hands to heart center and then bend your knees all the way down. Bring your elbows to the inside of your knees and really press out with your elbows as you squeeze in with your knees. This will keep all of your muscles actively engaged so you're not just hanging here in your joints. This is a great pose for creating flexibility and strength at the same time. Continue with your nice deep breathing here. And on your next inhale, go ahead and stand all the way back up. From here, we'll do a few of the warrior poses, which also create strength and flexibility throughout our hips. Start by taking your legs just a little bit wider, and then turn your right toes toward the short side of your mat. You still want your heels to be in a line even though your feet are facing different directions. Carefully bend your front leg and take your arms out to your sides. You can turn your gaze and look over the front hand. Think about really pressing down through both of your feet here and keeping your legs nice and solid. Carefully straighten that front leg and then come back down. And straighten your leg again and bend that front knee again. Now let's just cartwheel our arms down to the ground. We're going to come down into a lunge here, and you're welcome to keep this front knee open a little bit so that there's room for your stomach. You can even release your back knee to the mat, release the back foot, and then just stretch through your hips here. Tuck your back toes under and straighten that back leg, and then come back up to a standing position. We're going to switch sides now, so this time turn your left toes so they're facing the short side of your mat, and bring your right foot so that it's parallel with the short side of your mat. And then carefully bend that front knee, coming into Warrior Two on the left side. And let's straighten that front leg. And then exhale, bending the leg again. And inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, coming back down. And cartwheeling your arms all the way to the ground. Keeping your hips open here, you're welcome to release the back knee and the back foot to the mat. And just stretching through your hips. Tuck your back toes under and straighten that back leg and come back up to a standing position. Starting from our knees, we'll do a few more poses to help us strengthen through our core by focusing on our sides. We'll take our right hand down to the mat, extend your left leg and your left arm up towards the ceiling. This is modified side plank. Let's cartwheel our arms over to the left side, reaching up to the right arm, and once again stretching through the right side of our body. And cartwheel your arms back down, coming to side plank. If you want more of a challenge here in side plank, you can extend your right leg out as well. And either keep your feet staggered on the mat, or you can stack your feet for the full side plank. Let's bring our knee back down. And we'll go to the other side. Take your left hand to the mat and extend your right leg and your right arm. Cartwheel your arms over towards the right side, reaching up to the left arm. And bring your arms back down. Here you have the option for the full side plank if you would like to extend your left leg as well. And carefully release that knee again and come back up. These next few poses are just relaxation poses to help bring you back into your deep breathing and give you a little bit of a rest. You'll want your props here, so blankets, pillows, or 2 yoga blocks. We'll start by coming into child's pose again. This time, try using blocks and see if you can find something that feels really good to you. I like to use the block as a rest for my head. So once again, sitting with your knees nice and wide, bringing your toes back together, begin to fold forward, and you can rest your head on a blanket, a block, pillow, whatever feels best to you. And carefully begin to come back up to your hands and knees. Swing your legs off to the side and just sit back. We'll now come into our Shavasana pose, or final relaxation. This is one of my favorites, and this is a pose that you really want to be comfortable in. We don't lay flat on our backs because that's not recommended during pregnancy. However, I'll show you a modification so that you can still get the same rest and relaxation without laying flat on your backs. Here I'm going to use 2 yoga blocks. The first one I'll stand up on its end, and the second one I'm just going to bring on its side. You want a little bit of space in between those blocks. And I'm going to take my blanket and lay it right over those blocks. Now if you come down into this pose and find you need to adjust the blocks or adjust the pillow or blanket, that's totally fine. Like I said, the most important thing here is to make sure you're comfortable. I'm going to lay back onto the blocks so that the bottom block rests on the middle of my back, and then the top block is kind of a pillow for me. You can either extend both of your legs out in front of you, or you can once again bend your knees and bring the soles of your feet together. Let your hands just rest on the floor. You're welcome to close your eyes here. And just imagine your body sinking down into the blocks and into the mat. That's it for prenatal yoga. Thanks for joining us today. Once again, I'm Kristen, health coach with Orion. Namaste.